Um, yeah, I'm here on behalf of the defendant, Jamil Lockhart, and you're making a special appearance.
All right. Well, you got to make your special appearance to the Wayne County Jail. I told you that the last time.
Looks like someone forgot to turn himself in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're returning to Judge Perkins' courtroom to revisit a familiar face. Neil, also known as of the family Lockhart, who we covered in a previous episode. Last time, things ended with Judge Perkins ordering him to serve 30 days in the Wayne County Jail for blatant contempt of court. The catch: he never turned himself in. And now that he's finally realized this active bench warrant is wrecking his life, keeping him from getting a valid driver's license and making even basic tasks a headache, he suddenly wants to cooperate. But here's the problem. Judge Perkins isn't cutting him any slack. Before the court will even think about addressing his original charges, he still has to serve that 30-day sentence he's been running from. No shortcuts, no negotiations. So with all that on the table, let's jump in and see how this mess unfolds.
Yeah, so I filed a notice of removal for all of these cases because I don't believe that this court is capable of acting in an unbiased way. But I mean, there's been no response from the city, but to this point. I mean, just the last court date we had, perjury was committed. I mean, you guys put on the record that I failed to appear.
Yeah. So I filed a notice of removal for all these cases because I don't believe this court is capable of acting without bias. He begins, stumbling through his explanation. There's been no response from the city, and at our last court date, perjury was committed. You all claimed I failed to appear, but the judge isn't having it. You did fail to appear when your name was called, she reminds him. Your companion stood up and introduced you as Jamil of the family Lockhart. Flesh and blood, a living man, an attorney in fact for the defendant. Jamil Lockhart. That is not you appearing on your own behalf. You are not a licensed attorney. So you cannot represent another party even if that other party is the legal version of yourself you keep trying to separate from. And then she clarifies the part he really doesn't want to hear. But let's be clear, that wasn't even the issue that landed you in this situation. The real problem came from your behavior afterward, the blatant disrespect and disregard for court procedure. That's what brought us to the contempt finding in the first place.
Spoke to you.
You did fail to show up to the Wayne County Jail. You were ordered to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail. You haven't showed up. You still haven't showed up. So you're still disobeying. Let's not do this. This is how it started the last time. You're still disobeying the court's order, and you have to do 30 days. You have to present yourself to the Wayne County Jail. You have a warrant out for your arrest. And before we go over this other stuff, you got to go. You have to go to the Wayne County Jail. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So
I said what
I can increase the time if you can take to not be compliant.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the proceedings. May I have a breakout room with this litigant, please, and thank you.
I don't know if he wants to speak to a lawyer, but he can if he needs to. He has that right to do so. You want to speak to the lawyer, Mr. Lockhart, or no?
Oh, yeah.
HMM. I can't help but wonder whose video he might be referring to. It's almost like he's hinting at some mysterious creator out there who's been documenting his greatest courtroom hits. Maybe someone who's already covered his antics in excruciating detail. Hard to say, but the shade is definitely showing.
Miss Harris, what's going to go with Mr. Lockhart? So I don't know why he's still sitting here.
Well, Your Honor, if the court will allow, we would like to attempt resolution of the matters that are on the docket. So I would ask if the court could stay the contempt proceedings and allow him to handle these matters.
No. No. It's been well over a year. No. He's gonna have to go turn himself in, and we'll deal with it that way.
Your Honor, if the court could, just in the interest of justice and judicial economy, if he could resolve these matters, if he's still going to have to do the 30 days in Wayne County Jail, if at time of sentencing, it could all be wrapped up together just to not further delay his constitutional right to speedy trial?
He's delayed his rights. He's delayed his rights to a speedy trial.
And I do have a resolution, Your Honor.
No, I don't want to. I'm not even going to entertain it. That ship has sailed. We tried to give him that opportunity a long time ago. He kept being contemptuous in the court. He comes with these far out legal theories that he has that I quite frankly, don't know where he's coming from on that. No, I'm not gonna even entertain that.
And Your Honor, I completely understand the court's position. I completely understand if he still has to do the 30 days Wayne County Jail, but I think that he was potentially misguided, did not understand the finer points of the law, court rules, and courtroom behavior and procedure. So now that he has the assistance of counsel, which I'm not saying that he didn't have the assistance of counsel before, if the court would allow him.
We offered him counsel then. He denied the counsel. Go back and look at the video. It's got over 270-some thousand views on it.
I absolutely love this outcome. From the very first time he showed up in court, he was acting like a disrespectful little menace. So why on earth would anyone give him special treatment now? Actions have consequences, and he set the tone from day one. And honestly, I'm completely with Judge Perkins on this. He needs to serve those 30 days in jail before a court can even begin addressing the original mess, something that should have been resolved a year and a half ago. Instead, he's dragged it out with theatrics, fake legal jargon, and every stall tactic he can think of. If he had just behaved like a normal adult and handled his business from the start, none of this would have spiraled into the soap opera it's become. But since he wanted to play games, now he gets to deal with the consequences the hard way.
Days will give him an opportunity to read up on the law, and so he can make it and understand how this process goes. So go ahead to the Wayne County Jail. You can take some. They probably have some legal books there, and we'll hear these matters when you come out. So,
Your Honor, is any of this on the record or no? Or did we not? Okay.
No, it's not on the record because I didn't call the cases. I'm going to continue on. That appears to be Charles Gardner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, am I allowed to go back in the breakout room to explain that to Mr. Lockhart? Because he seems to have had a change of heart if the court would allow him to at least.
Maybe he can go turn himself in, and you can file an appeal. File something to get him heard before the court, and they can zoom in from the Wayne County Jail, and we'll resolve it that way. But until he turns himself in, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. He's had this warrant out for I don't know how long. I can look back into the record, but and he's never presented himself. So. He was contemptuous then. He continues to not follow or obey the court's orders. So he has to go do the time, or hire himself a lawyer to get it back in front of the court. But until we get the first matter resolved that we had, we're not going to get into the other matters.
The contempt proceedings arise out of his appearance in court. So he's still not allowed to just resolve these before he commits himself to the Wayne County Jail?
No.
And that, right there, is what I like to call the path of least advancement. It's the trademark journey of a sovereign citizen for every tiny step forward they manage to take. They immediately turn around, eat 2 crayons, and stumble 3 giant steps backward. It's like watching someone try to climb a ladder while deliberately kicking out every rung beneath them, all while insisting that gravity is a government conspiracy. No matter how close they get to making real progress, they always manage to sabotage themselves in the most spectacularly childish way possible. Every court appearance becomes less about resolving the actual issue and more about watching them regress into this bizarre mix of playground logic and dollar store legal theories. And somehow, they still act shocked when everything blows up in their face.
And that'll conclude it. I still see Mr. Lockhart here, I don't know what else to do, what else you can do for him, Mrs. Harris.
So, Your Honor,
He continues to disobey the court order, just continues to do so.
And Your Honor, I dare not say, I don't know. I don't think that it's an intentional. Oh, I can't
It's
say
not
that.
intentional. Wait a minute.
I don't think, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I think he has good intentions. I think he now has a better understanding of everything that is taking place.
I don't think so, because he came in here talking about he's appearing on behalf of the person Jameer Lockhart. So I think he's on the same.
Funny how the apologies suddenly start flowing the moment he realizes that 30 days of the finest, lumpiest jailhouse grits are about to become a staple of his morning routine. Suddenly, he's all humble and regretful, acting like he's seen the light. But let's be honest, he were genuinely remorseful for his contemptuous behavior. He wouldn't have waited until the threat of a cold metal bunk and correctional cuisine was staring him in the face. Real accountability would have meant turning himself in the moment the judge ordered it. It would have meant owning his actions, facing the consequences, and handling his business like an actual adult. Instead, he ran, ducked, dodged, and pretended the court order didn't exist, hoping it would somehow disappear on its own. Now that reality has caught up with him, he wants sympathy and a second chance. But that's not remorse, that's panic dressed up as maturity.
And Your Honor, we've had that discussion at length in the breakout room. He understands what it would take to resolve his matters. He understands how he has to represent himself in court. And so I think he's in a position that he wants to resolve these matters. We've had the discussion. We asked for leniency and mercy from the court. I understand if the condition is that he still has to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail, although we would ask if the court would reconsider that sentence now that he has taken the time to actually listen to advice of counsel and be made fully aware of how he should present himself in court. I know that it's his intention to resolve these matters without any further court appearances or draining any further resources or delaying the process anymore. And I know that the court doesn't want to delay the process any further. I understand his behavior is what put us in this position as of right now, but we're just hoping to resolve today if the court will allow.
I'm not moved. I gave him it's a 27 plus, maybe 30 plus minute video. I gave him ample opportunity, and I'm not moved.
I mean, Your Honor, in that video, I did apologize to you for, I guess.
You apologize after you got the 30 days.
Well, he probably should have considered all of that before deciding to behave like a complete fool in court. Actions have consequences, and his were on full display. He strutted in there with that smug special appearance routine, acting like his made-up legal vocabulary somehow trumped basic courtroom procedure. And of course, in his mind, That performance was apparently far more important than any actual family matter he claims he had going on. Because nothing says responsible adult like prioritizing a fantasy law. Cosplay session over real-life obligations. If he truly cared about whatever personal issues he's now trying to hide behind, he wouldn't have wasted everyone's time with sovereign citizen theatrics. But here, we are cleaning up the mess he created because he chose nonsense over common sense. Click.
I'm not
I
moved.
apologize after the offense was, I don't know what else I would
It's
apologize.
not, and you still haven't showed up, and it's been over a year, and now you want me to have some sympathy for you and to resolve the matters. I have no sympathy for you at all.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to discuss. We tried to have give you a fair opportunity to be heard. You keep spewing these legal theories that I've never heard of before, and I've given you an opportunity at that date to speak with the lawyer. You refuse that. You refuse all the opportunities I've given you. And you came in here another time a couple of months ago, and I told you we weren't going to hear it then. You got to go report to the Wayne County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had ample opportunity.
You'd have me go to jail.
So, on behalf of Jamil Lockhart, I do understand that, and I know the court he may hear this often, but he does have a family that he supports. It would be a great hardship on his family, his resources, and his sense of economy in terms of his job if he would have to submit himself to 30 days in the Wayne County Jail.
Why is it that every sovereign citizen looks like he's straining to pass a whole live baby every time he's asked to simply say his own name? The moment the judge asks for basic identification, their entire face twists up like they're experiencing the most dramatic internal crisis imaginable. It's wild how something as harmless as stating your legal name becomes this earth-shattering event for them. You'd think uttering 2 or 3 syllables was a personal betrayal of their deepest convictions. And honestly, I never realized being such a soft, self-deluded tough guy could make someone despise themselves to that degree. The mental gymnastics they put themselves through just to avoid acknowledging reality is almost impressive. Almost, they'll twist, stall, mumble, and invent entire fantasy identities before simply doing the most straightforward thing any adult can do. It's like watching someone fight their own reflection and lose every single round.
No, I didn't just give him the 30 days on the, he should have thought about that when I was asking him. I let him speak when I was asking him to not try to overtalk the court. Let me give him an opportunity to speak. He continued to disobey that. He should have thought about that then. There's a whole lot of people up in the penitentiary that have families that they take care of, and he's not going to the penitentiary. It's just county jail. So I'm just not moved.
Would this court consider amending it in such a way that he could only do weekends to complete his 30 days?
Yeah, but he hasn't even come to done anything. I'm not inclined to do anything for Mr. Jamir Lockhart or the person of Jamir Lockhart or whatever he wants to be called or however he wants to be described himself. Jamil Lockhart.
So yeah, he has the matters that are set on the docket for today. He has presented himself to the court today.
Okay, you want to take? We'll take off the warrant. We'll give him a pre-trial date, and then he can go do his 30 days. And he can tell the sheriff in there that what his next court date is, and somebody can writ him out then. City of Detroit versus Jamil Amir Lockhart, case numbers SP 1247989, counts 1, 2, and 3. State of Michigan No, the laws just don't apply to him. State of Michigan versus Jamil Amir Lockhart, case number SX378-29611. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris, on behalf of Jamil Lockhart, sir, could you state the name of the person that you are representing on the record, please, or that you identify, please?
So my name is Jamil Lockhart.
What exactly do you think this man does for a living? This is his job. He's literally getting paid right now to deal with your nonsense, to call you out when you act up, and to keep the courtroom from turning into a circus. And if you're suddenly feeling the urge to apologize, don't waste it on him. He doesn't need it. If you want to apologize to anyone, how about apologizing to the taxpayers of Michigan? They're the ones whose hard-earned money is being burned on these endless hearings, motions, delays, and theatrics. All of this time and all of these resources are being flushed away just so you can treat the judicial system like your own personal stage for absurdity. They're the people you're disrespecting. They're the ones funding the mess you've chosen to drag out. And if anyone deserves an apology for the mockery you've made of these proceedings, it's them.
And there is currently a recommendation if the court would allow a plea.
No. He's gonna have to go do the time.
So, sir, as we discussed, I think you would be better suited if you, one, hire an attorney, two, go to the Wayne County Jail and submit yourself so that your matters could be resolved. Understand that when you appear in court, there's different attorneys.
He didn't want an attorney. And I guess you have gotten through to him a little bit. He changed it. He came in here hearing on behalf of the person, Jamir Lockhart. And then when he asked him to state his name, he came and he indicated that he was Jamir Lockhart now. So I don't know what he like I say.
I mean, if I could speak a little bit here. I don't know, Your Honor, I'm not a criminal. I just want to handle this, get this over with.
I didn't say you were a criminal, sir. I didn't listen.
No, I know you didn't.
I didn't say you were a criminal. As it stands now, these are allegations. So until there's an adjudication of either guilt or not guilt, that'll determine, whether you're a criminal or not. So I don't know. You got these allegations out here. So I didn't make that comment. You were a criminal.
Right. No, I'm not saying that you did. But I just want to handle this and, put this to rest. At this point, I feel like it's taken up too much of my time, too much of, your time.
Whatever I owe. That's cute. It's funny how bold he was when he thought he could just float through life on bogus legal theories and dollar store sovereignty. But now that reality has slammed the brakes on his entire persona. My only lipstick, Ruby Kiss. Ruby Kiss. Ruby Kiss. Only Ruby Kiss. Only Ruby Kiss has the luxurious texture. My Livy cyst. I condeared my listing. Lifestyle thanks to his decision to consume paint chips like they were a dietary staple. Suddenly, he's decided it's perfectly fine to contract with the state. Now he wants a driver's license. Now he wants to travel. Now he's ready to acknowledge the same system he's been ranting against. All because his little fantasy world collapsed the second it interfered with real-life convenience. It's amazing how quickly sovereign principles evaporate when someone just wants to legally drive to the grocery store.
And,
this is what I do every day, sir. I serve the city residents of the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan and whoever comes in here. So it doesn't take up my time. This is what we do.
Yeah. So yeah, and continuing, I would just like to, get this over with. pay whatever fines need to be paid. I would like to have my license back. I can't rent a car when I travel. I would like to be able to do that. So
That's not how this is going to work. You don't get to stroll in here, shrug it off, and later look back on all of this with a soda in hand and a smile on your face. No, that's not the reality. You were in court, plain and simple. And being in court isn't without consequences, it carries real, tangible consequences. This isn't a joke. This isn't a practice run. This is 30 days of hard-earned consequences. You're going to see every single one of them. No shortcuts, no excuses, no smiling your way out of responsibility. The court has spoken, and it's time to face the results of your actions exactly as they were intended.
Last year, over a year and a half ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just want to resolve this. Whatever I owe for those offenses, I'm willing to pay, and it'll be done with this situation. I truthfully don't think it's your, mission to put people in jail that have not harmed anybody or committed any offense against, any actual live human being. I'm only guilty of speaking out of turn. And, I should have handled this differently. I can see that now, yeah, I really just want to get this whole situation rectified, and whatever the charges are that I need to pay, I'm willing to do that, and I'll put this to right.
I've met a lot of incredibly foolish people in my life. Locked hard, but you've truly mastered it. You've elevated it to an art form. And surely, you realize that all of this is being recorded, right? Every word, every ridiculous claim eats, all on tape. The best part? The judge doesn't even have to dig through mountains of paperwork to see what's happening. One clip played in court, and it's game over. You've essentially admitted on record that you're not pursuing any real civil liability or damages. No, this isn't about seeking justice. It's about trying to keep yourself out of trouble. And that, my friend, is exactly why all of this is about to backfire spectacularly.
All right, I'll let him speak. Next pretrial date is September 22nd.
Yeah,
Well,
based on the statements.
That being said, I don't think, based on everything that has happened, our history, the claim in federal court that I have against.
All right. That wraps up today's video, and I really want to hear what you think. So what's going to happen with Jamil, the self-proclaimed smooth brain of the family? Will he finally man up, turn himself in, and take care of all of this like an adult? Or will he boldly decide to say, screw jail, and still show up for his September 22nd hearing? Or
Complaints that I have against you, I think you have a duty to recuse yourself from any of my cases.
I haven't been privy to any judicial tenure complaint. My first duty is a duty to sit, and I feel that I
put it in your mailbox.
Okay, well, all right. Well, the Judicial Tenure Commission will have to come, and I'll have to respond to them accordingly if they present something to me.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day, sir. Next court date, 9/22. You're still expected to turn yourself into the Wayne County Jail.
Well, Your Honor, I would ask one final argument. I understand that he may have indicated he did not want an attorney to represent him. Jail time is a very harsh penalty. And I know that the court didn't just immediately come to that decision. I would ask if the court would consider some of the things that were stated on the record in terms of he now has a better understanding. He is remorseful of how things played out. And I would ask if the court would issue a monetary fine for the contempt rather than jail. If the court, please.
And he's got a proceeding in federal court against him. So where is it, you know, where is this,
I'm simply trying to
But again,
protect
Your Honor,
my
Your
life.
Honor, stop, Mr.
Right,
Mr. Lockhart, on behalf
as a-
of Mr. Lockhart, stop. Stop. What I'm saying, the court has to understand the fact that a lot of these things came into play before today. So if in fact there was something filed, it was before today, before having a better understanding of how the process works, how to conduct oneself in court, and that one is held to the same standards as an attorney. I would ask if the court would consider converting that jail term into a monetary fine.
Not at this point. At this point.
Your Honor, I only have a federal claim against you as a means to try to keep myself out of